Oh, that was a solid log.
What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. So it's been about 6 months since Arrma released this truck, and over that time span it's gotten a lot of hype, not only for how durable it is, but just how budget friendly. So I figured it was finally time for me to get one myself and see if this Arrma Quake 2 to 3S holds up to the hype. Given that I have this one in the Creighton and this color for the Senton, it only seemed fitting to get this color in the Quake. And look at that. Looks beautiful, honestly. Wow, this legitimately has a new car smell. Interesting, I don't think I've ever noticed that in a new RC car before. You guys know that new car smell. It's very distinct. So the guys over at RC Madness hooked me up with this. Great people over there and an awesome shop. It's in Enfield, Connecticut. If you haven't checked it out, you'll see it in a lot of my videos. So if you don't already know, this truck is two-wheel drive. And for those of you who have seen my channel a lot, know that I really don't have a lot of two-wheel drive trucks. In fact, I usually try to stay away from them. The ones that I do have are made for specific reasons, like a carpet track two-wheel drive buggy, for example, where a two-wheel drive makes sense. But when I'm bashing, the last thing I want is two-wheel drive. And for 6 months, I've sort of avoided this truck for that reason. And that is until my buddy let me drive his the other day. Man, this thing is light. Oh, this is so light, you can already tell. Three-wheel motion. And wow, was I impressed. It was not only fun, but super fast and controlled itself pretty well for two-wheel drive, surprisingly so. So I had to get my hands on one. The nice people over at RC Madness hooked this up, and I gotta give it a rip. So first off, let's do the old ICRC thorough review and check it out with some specs. I won't try to bore you too much with that because I know this truck's been out for a while. First off, the looks. I really love it. It looks to me like a real monster truck would. The size of the tires really match the scale of the body and what a real monster truck might look like. The background of the body has sort of like a matte finish on it, but then the other colors really pop in this fluorescent pink and whatever color you choose for yours, whether it's green or red. Those are the other two color options. This truck was born from the Arrma Gorgon, which is very similar and has a different looking body, but the main difference is that it's brushed, whereas this is brushless, so a big step up. The tires on the Gorgon are different in that they have a lot less tread grip on them. These tires are not only realistic looking for a monster truck, but they're really grippy, so I'm glad that they went with this with the Quake. This is sort of in a category of its own. Other than the Gorgon, I couldn't find too many other trucks out there that match it. The Traxxas Stampede is one possible competitor. However, when I looked it up, they don't sell the VXL two-wheel drive anymore, which would have been the most closest competitor to this. It only comes in the BL2S version when it's two-wheel drive, which is slower than this, or we got the VXL 4x4 version, which is quite a bit more expensive and 4x4. One of the best advantages to this is the price. At the time of this video, Arrma is selling these for about $270. There's not too many bashers out there that are fast, can take a beating, and are less than $300. And that's what makes this a great value. Let's check out the size and weight of it. For the weight, this comes in at 6 pounds, 2.4 ounces. Let's compare that with something like the Arrma Typhon, which is a light basher. And that comes in at 8 pounds, 15.4 ounces. It's quite a bit heavier. But the interesting thing is the size is actually not that much smaller. There's not much of a difference. The Typhon is a bit longer and really no wider. Maybe on the body it is. But the key differences that save weight are this thin plastic chassis as opposed to a wide metal chassis. But as I mentioned, it also is two-wheel drive. So that's 2 less diffs. And I say 2 because it only has a rear diff. It doesn't have a center. Whereas most of these four-wheel drive bashers have a front, middle, and a rear. Little skateboard of a chassis in here and that's it. Or maybe it's like a hot dog. When you compare that with a basher like an Arrma Creighton, it's significantly lighter. I'm talking like half the weight of a Creighton. Not only is this truck light, but most of the weight is concentrated in the rear end.
Excuse me?
Sorry, Quake. That's because we've got the diff back here and the motor.
And you know what that does? It makes this thing a wheelie king. They give you a nice little wheelie bar on here, and it's a good thing they do because this thing needs it. It will hold a wheelie better than any truck I have, and it's super fun. You guys may have noticed I'm wearing a little something new here. That's one of the new items in my merch store. You can get one for yourself for only 4 easy payments of $99.99. Actually, you can get it for 1 payment, or you can get it for no payments if you don't want to get one. Check it out below or in the store section of my YouTube channel. I noticed that putting this body back on, there's no click. It's actually requiring me to push these tabs back in manually in order for it to stay on. A little strange. Usually I'm used to bodies clicking on, but you don't really need to take this body off for many reasons other than to work on the electronics or maybe move the battery wires. As for the electronics, this comes with a really high kV motor, which is 4000 kV, and only a 40 amp ESC. I thought the Arrma 2 to 3S lineup was consistent in power across lineups, but actually this one being only at 40 amp is half the size of this one, which is an 80 amp. The same 2 to 3S 2-in-1 ESC receiver combo, just a lot more power. I think they do that because this is a lot heavier, with the Sentin coming in at 8 pounds, 1.2 ounces. So a couple more pounds it's pulling. Arrma rates it at 50 plus miles an hour. The suspension on this thing is really plush, I must say. It's got some great rebound. Look at that bounce back. The battery tray is underneath the truck. This has been known for being a weak point, and I learned that from fellow YouTuber and basher VeteranRC. Check out his channel if you haven't already. But he's a Quake fan, and he has not only 1, but 2 of these bashers, and has found out the hard way that these battery trays don't always keep the battery in, especially on hard landings. He's done some different techniques to try to keep this thing in place. We'll see how it works for us today, and if we're gonna recreate that same issue. Some other people have mentioned that this tray is a little bit too small, and I've seen people remove this cover here and reroute the wires through the top so that you get just a little bit more room for a battery. I'll see what kind of 3S batteries I have that can fit in this. All right guys, so let me just show you real quick how these batteries fit. This is a Z battery. This is the smallest 3S battery that I have. It's the Z Premium Series 5000 milliamp 120C, and that seems to fit pretty well in there. The other 3S batteries that I have, like the 6600 3S CNHL battery, is too big, especially when you try to put the wires in. It just doesn't work very well. And that's where routing the wires through the top is something I'm probably gonna do. You just put it through that little section there and take off that little cover. This is a 2S battery that I'm probably gonna start with. That's because I'm gonna take it to an indoor track right now and go see at RC Madness how this thing handles on the carpet track. As you can see, even with the 2S, it's a little tricky to figure out. Not super thrilled with that battery case, so that's sort of a downside. And then I just wanna show you guys real quick on the remote how you turn on the DSC, which is Arrma's version of a gyro, the dynamic stability control. They basically turn the wheel to the right, hit the orange button, and the higher number of beeps means how strong the gyro is going to be. So if you do 4 beeps, that's the max setting, and you'll see that it does the most amount of correction for you, as opposed to 1 beep where it's totally off. You're doing all the correction. Let's see, why don't we start it in the middle with 2. Just very minor corrections it's gonna do, and we'll see how that goes. Let's hit the track. What's up?
Ready to RC.
Oh yeah. I'll be out there. Gonna try this out on the track. So this is on 2S. Yeah, this isn't really designed for a track, that's for sure. Oh, the top came off. I guess that top wasn't securely on there like I thought. So far I can see that once you start getting the hang of easing into the turns, it's very touchy. It likes to lean and likes to wheelie. And you know, given that high center of gravity and those big tires, that makes sense. It's definitely not a track truck, but I can see how I'm just slowly but surely starting to get the hang of it. And I just like to wheelie down the straightaway. There's a very soft feel, almost like you're on a cloud. That has to do with the suspension and those tires. This is Tyler and Chris. They own the shop. Doing a video on the Quake. This is Chris. He owns RC Madness. We love this place. Thank you, Chris. Awesome. Yeah. We're doing a lot of reviews here, so got to give you a shout out. What's going on?
How you doing?
Good, good. I'm trying this out on the track. Yeah. Yeah. It's a little hard to drive on the track, but
it is pretty hot, isn't it?
It is awesome, yeah. It's pretty stable for a two-wheel drive. And
Box don't really do it justice, though.
No. It's hard on a track like this. I mean, it's all over the place, but
they've been running the Gorgons actually here.
Oh, really?
They've been going pretty good.
Nice.
They got a little bit different tire on them, though. So
yeah.
Makes a difference.
This is pretty
He's
grippy.
got the foam in them, right? Yeah, the Gorgon I don't think has foam in the tires.
Does that help with this?
I don't know. They go pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Is that this guy out too?
Yeah. It's only got 2S on it right now.
Pull all those out and then drive it.
Oh, okay. Well.
Go get your pliers. Pull
Yeah.
all of them out, the front, the back, everything.
It's really tippy.
I think it would handle fine. So is it brushed?
No, brushless. The Gorgons are brushed.
So that's a 2 or 3S?
This is on 2S, but it can handle 3.
Yeah. So that thing's sick, yeah.
Oops.
Yes, that's what's hard. Is it to control it in the air.
All right, I'll adjust the shocks and see how it goes. All right, so I took out these shock spacers, but they only have them in the rear. There's probably a way to take this spacer out here, to unscrew that, and then this thing should be pretty tough on the track. Well, let's go test it out and see how it goes. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's okay. Not off to a good start here. I hit that lady on accident. Oh, it actually is a little better. Yeah, so the rear shocks are the only ones that allowed you to take out the spacer.
Oh, it didn't let you do the front?
Yes, but it actually surprisingly still handles a little better. I don't know how that's possible, but it doesn't kind of flip over as easily. God. Oh. That's all right. Just got nailed.
But you it's hard to stop.
That too, yeah.
Air control is a little bit different. You know, I never tried that better. I probably could have.
Nice. So I've finally figured out the technique after 5,000 attempts, which, sorry guys, this is probably not that hard. I'm just dense. You have to pull these out all the way. Make sure. You have to line these holes up. There is no snap on that part, but there is a snap in here. Once you hear a click, there you go. You have to push really hard, which is the part that threw me off. I didn't realize you had to push that hard, but now it's locked in. All right, so I do think it handled a little better on the track without these in. Next though, I want to take it outdoors. I'm going to put these back on, put it on 3S. I brought a couple ramps. It's terrible conditions out there with snow and slush, but I think we can make this happen. Let's go get it. Ooh, water. Now, this is a waterproof truck, that's good. Ooh. It grips surprisingly well. I thought it would be sliding, even in this wet stuff. See that? So understeer is a problem with this, given that it's two-wheel drive. You know, that's all understeer. You power through the turn rather than, whoa. Nice. It actually handles pretty well in the snow. Yeah, this thing powers through good. Oh, that was a solid log. A little durability testing. Little berm. Yeah, this. Whoop. Oh, definitely bashing it.
It does really good, the wheelies in the snow.
I know. Like, remember the Rustler? That thing would just spin out.
Spin out the whole time.
You couldn't wheelie it. It would spin out. It was just no fun to bash. I used to have the two-wheel drive Rustler, BXL. What?
You like almost keep it straight.
Yeah, barely keep it straight. This is like, it almost feels like four-wheel drive. So I think that's a combination of the tires, the suspension, and just the chassis. And I can't really flip it. I'd have to. You could flip it. I did that with Luke. Let me give it a send here. Nice.
Perfect.
But it has to be a really,
ramp.
yeah, vertical, and you got a lot of speed. So guys, what do you think? This thing handled amazingly. Very impressed with it. For two-wheel drive, it felt like four, and for less than 300 bucks, can you go wrong? I know I'm definitely happy with it. In the next one, I'll definitely be bashing this against another truck of comparable price. Take your guesses below. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.